Hey guys, it's your friend Adam online. I'm going to show you how to sign up with Airbnb really fast. If you want to get started, you want to use a referral link. So I'm going to share my link with you guys, and it's going to be basically on this screen. So all you got to do is go down below to the description, click the link to get started, and then you're going to go into your listings, and you're going to have to verify some information, give them your email address and whatnot. And everybody's out there buying cryptocurrency right now, but I'm telling you, this is a better way to go if you've got space to rent. I've got lots of rooms I'm listing. When I'm in one place, when I'm in Los Angeles, I'm listing another room where I rent, and it works, you guys. You can make good money. Let me show you here real quick. This is not indicative of what you're going to make, and some people make even more than this, but it's easy to make money once you know what you're doing. So that's why I'm here to help you guys. So the basic thing you're going to need to do is start off with a good first listing, and I'm not perfect by any means, but you want to go in here and decide if you're going to rent your entire house, your entire apartment, just a private room in your apartment, or if you want to do a shared room, which I don't recommend right off the bat. You got to learn some people skills and how people interact socially when they're sleeping in a room with a stranger, not in the same bed or anything, but that would be weird, but in like two separate beds in the same room, which is something you can do if you want to maximize your income maybe, and it'll probably reduce your quality. I'm not sure if there's a way to make that really good, but you can choose between all kinds of different an earth house. I don't even know what that is. Let's just say I'm renting an earth house, and it's the entire place, and that's probably a novelty sort of a thing. Sounds like a house made out of dirt. So let's just say I can fit 5 guests in there, and let's just say it's got 2 bedrooms, and let's just say there's going to be a total of 3 beds. So what you're going to do is once you decide how much space you have, you are going to go on to what you're going to do is you're going to go onto the internet, and you're going to find hotels nearby you. So what I'm going to do, hotels near me, book tonight. Hotels near me, book tonight. You know what? My voice command's not going to work while I'm in the middle of a live thing here. Let's just do this. Let's just search my recent searches. Anyhow, I think you can see the point I'm trying to make here. You need to go and you need to look for hotels nearby where you are. And once you've done that, you can basically decide what you're going to set your rate at. Probably you don't offer everything the hotels offer. You probably don't have a swimming pool, a mini gym, and breakfast. But you got to look at the things that you do offer for people and compare that to what the hotels are offering. I know that sounds obvious, but a lot of people don't do that. So here's Best Western, pushing $330 for one night in a vacation area. So this is very close to Antelope Canyon, Lake Powell, places you may not have heard of, and it's really fancy. I mean, for a 4-star hotel, that's pretty damn good. Now, you probably don't have all that, but you know what you could do is you could make a breakfast or put some pastries and coffee out for your guests. Most people are happy just with that. You probably don't need a mini gym, but maybe your place is by some hiking trails, and that'll help you get good reviews. You want to brag on or illustrate or take pictures of the quality things you have. And we're also going to get into using Google Translate, excuse me for a moment. I'm actually glad that popped up, because you may have guests from Germany, France, other countries, China, and you will need to translate. So you decide what kind of beds are going to be in your place. Let's just say I have a king size, a queen size, and a single for Junior to sleep on. Oh, okay, well, anyhow, it really almost doesn't matter what I'm doing here, but for the sake of illustration, let's just do this. Common spaces, let's say there's 2 couches in the common area. So that's plenty of space for lots of people. Count bathrooms that have a toilet and sink as 0.5. Let's just say there's 3.5 bathrooms in here. So a bathroom, just to educate you, it gets divided into quarters. A sink is a quarter, a toilet is a quarter, a bath is a quarter, and a shower is a quarter. 4 quarters make 1. So if you have a full bathroom, that means you have what? A sink, a shower, a toilet, and a bath, all in one room. So that would be a full bathroom. A half bathroom is usually a toilet and a sink, right? A quarter bathroom would just be a sink, for instance. That may sound strange to you, but that really matters, okay? And what really matters to people also is that they have a private bathroom when they use your place. If you're giving them a shared bathroom, I would lower the cost. If they're having a private bathroom, I would factor in a reasonable amount of money for that. And you really do need to be reasonable with your pricing, or people aren't going to book. Or if they do book it and they say, wow, this was not reasonable, this price was way too high, they will tell you in your first couple of reviews, and then it'll take you some time to make that back. All right, let's just say, golly, I'm just going to go ahead and go through with this. We'll say 123 Main Street. It's kind of funny because you actually have to give them something to move forward here. This address will appear to people when they book. They will not see this before they book. If you list your property on Google Maps, then people actually will be able to find you when they're looking for hotels in the area. They can search around the map, and your area, your location might pop up if you're running a serious business, not just your home or private residence. If you're running a serious business, I've actually had people come and knock on my door of my building, because I have an apartment building, and they're looking for places to stay, to the point where we had to make a little overflow room. But we're very careful about how many people we allow at my place. We don't want overcrowding. Always provide towels, bed sheets, soap, and toilet paper. Your towels are going to become negligible at some point. Do not spend a lot of money on towels. People may say, yeah, buy the fanciest stuff you can to make it really nice. I fully disagree. There's another guy on YouTube that tells you to buy the fanciest towels you can. I totally disagree with him. Your towels are going to get destroyed. You're going to tell people, do not wipe your makeup on the towels, do not wipe dirt on the towels. They will do it anyways because they will forget, or you'll forget to tell them. Then you will have what is called clean stains on your towels. Now, I would not spend more than $5 a towel. You can get really good quality towels at Walmart. I've done it and they've lasted a long time. I prefer to get an off-white color now, like a gray color, because I don't know a better word to say, I'll call it, they get dingy after a while. Your white towels will get dingy, and people will say, oh, it looks a little stained, but you can explain to them, you bleach it, it's clean. They will still think it's a little bit stained. All right, so your towels and your sheets, you're just going to be going through those on a regular basis if you're renting a lot like I am. But don't let that scare you. You're going to make your money back. I would give them low to medium quality shampoo. Some people may not want sodium lauryl sulfates in their shampoos. If you don't know what that is, you need to get more health conscious. Sodium lauryl sulfates can make your hair fall out if you use it too much, and it goes into almost all the mainstream shampoos. But I actually use that shampoo. At least when we were starting out, we used that shampoo and nobody seemed to care. All right. Wireless internet is a good idea. Share your wireless code as much as you can. Change it if you have to. Hangers. I don't really recommend putting a TV. People are usually traveling to explore. They're not traveling to sit in your room and watch TV. But if you do give them a TV and they turn into a couch potato and they fall asleep with the volume on full blast, great. Now you're irritating your neighbors if you have neighbors. So I don't recommend a TV. Heat is important. Even if I have fireplaces in my space, even if you can put a portable electric heater for $20, that's better than nothing. And you've got to keep it away from flammable stuff. Air conditioning. I recommend breakfast, coffee, tea. I recommend having a desk. You can go to not the Home Depot, not Lowe's, but go to like a thrift store and keep looking until you find a good quality desk. You should have smoke detectors. You got to change the batteries on those. Carbon monoxide, you may not need that. A first aid kit with Band-Aids and Neosporin is good. Safety card. The fire marshal of my town actually did an inspection and made me put safety cards on my doors, which at first I didn't want to do, but then I realized it was a good idea, and I spent over $200 on fire extinguishers and over $200 on smoke detectors altogether. So that ended up, being a pain in the ass, but it was worth it, I think, in the long run for the safety and security. Somebody walks in and they see that it's safe. If you don't want to share your kitchen, you don't have to do that. Laundry room, we actually posted rules on when they can do laundry between 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. A lot of Europeans and Chinese, people that don't read English very well, just anyone that doesn't read English, not to be your country or whatever doesn't read English, but most Europeans are really good with reading English, actually. I posted rules in the most common languages of my travelers, so Chinese, German, French, Spanish. We posted laundry room rules on the wall right by the washer and dryer. That seems to help a lot. Yes, parking matters in big cities, so I would let them know if you have a free parking space or if you can give up your parking space. If you're in a big city, here's a huge tip. When street cleaning is happening, you pull your car out of your parking space and go park on the street as a courtesy to your guest so they can pull into a private parking spot that you've sacrificed to give them. That will mean the world to them, so they do not have to hunt for parking. All right, especially like LA, New York, San Francisco, that's a big deal. I've had people ask me if I have an elevator in my building. I don't. I have an older building with stairs, but that might matter. And then, check off these other things if they have it. These will actually all price factor. Airbnb will actually say your price for your room is worth a little bit more just by checking off these things, but make sure you actually have them. So you can add some photos. Let's just go here. I can delete this listing later. We'll just go out of my gallery, I guess, here. Let's see, we'll just put this photo on there. A goofy bunny rabbit photo. This is not going to qualify as a listing. This is just a demonstration. So you have to have at least one photo. You have to describe the place. It's great. All right, you want to use some actual details here, like we're close to landmarks. We are, vacation spot, whatever it is. Bacon, yeah, we're close to Bacon. Yeah, if you offer bacon, I'll get you 5 stars. We're close to vacation spot, blah, blah, blah. You want to keep this short and sweet, and I would do probably 3 paragraphs. Tell them what they're getting right off the bat. A private bedroom, a soft queen-size bed, whatever it is. Used to the kitchen, Wi-Fi included, laundry service included. Maybe don't put laundry service. That kind of implies you're doing their laundry for them. So make that short and sweet. Let them know if there's dogs in the house or noisy neighbors. They might really need to know that stuff, or at least tell them after they book it, send them a message saying, by the way, my neighbors are noisy, they play concerts all the time, or something weird like that. I don't know. Just disclose. The rule in real estate, disclose. Let them know what's really happening so they're not surprised when they get there, because that's a real turnoff. Give it a cool title. Fancy. I want to say fancy. So use it. Find some good keywords, not too long. Fancy place in LA, whatever it is. Good eye-catching words in your title makes a big deal, and your primary photo makes a big deal. So keep in mind, this is just an example. All right, then you can now Airbnb requires people to have their email address, phone number. So this will give you peace of mind. If you were like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I want strangers in my house, this is where you really get peace of mind. And a lot of people aren't aware of this, so that's why I'm making this video to show you. They actually have to have all of these on file, and you can require, watch this, I can require them to have a government ID. So you have to take a picture of their ID. I don't get to see that. You don't get to see that, but Airbnb corporate will review that, make sure it looks legit. And you can also require them to be recommended by other hosts, really simple. So somebody with 0 reviews would not be able to book. They would have to have like a 4 or 5 star review, a thumbs up from the other host, and then they would be able to book your place. And that's something I know some people do. Really, it's up to you. I check no on all of these. I do not want crying babies. I do not want peeing dogs and cats. I do not want smoking in my house, although they can smoke on the patio. That's always been fine. I don't want parties, but you can also add your additional rules, add details. Maybe there's 5 staircases in your house and the stairs are narrow or something, or maybe you're on the side of a mountain and they got to drive for 3 miles to get there. So that's all important stuff you should add. All right, so then it'll review, tell you have $1 million insurance policy, additional to whatever insurance you may have, and your guest can cancel if you're not giving them exactly what said you're giving them. You can cancel if you're uncomfortable with your guests. Maybe they show up with 10 more people than they claim they would show up with, and it's up to you. I can say I've rented before. Let's just say I'm new to this because it's for your sake if you're just doing this the first time. All right, so you're going to say I want to have guests. I'll just say I want them as often as possible. Maybe you want to rent part-time. That all factors into the fluctuating price if you choose smart pricing. So yeah, you can lock in your price where you want, or you can choose smart pricing and let your price go up and down within a range, okay? And here's some important things to do. Booking window. I would like to say you could sign up with this in 1 minute like I did with Lyft and Uber, but you really need about 10 minutes to do this. I give them 1 day or same day's notice. I'm living at my property now, so I would say same day notice. If you're not living at your property, maybe you're traveling, I would do 1 or 2 days notice. Reservation request. Without 1 day's notice, can a guest still send a reservation request? We'll just keep that as yes. Let's just say I'm going to go adventurous and maybe I get a request and I want to approve them right away. You can decide how far into the future you want guests to book. I have that set at 3 months, and then I block out months that I don't want them coming on the calendar, which we can look at in a little bit. They can check in as early as I would recommend. You look at your schedule and decide what's best for you. For me and Jennifer, with our schedule, we have decided 4 p.m. up till about 11 o'clock is good. I live on a border where there is a time zone difference between Arizona and Utah. So if I put 12 p.m., people are sometimes coming as late as 1 o'clock in the morning. So now I put 11 p.m. and I don't get anyone later than midnight because of the 1 hour time difference is confusing. And I like people to check out around noon. So trip length, minimum stay. This is important if you want people to stay at your place for up to a month, because the way I'm renting is kind of like it is like a vacation rental. So I give them as maximum 30 days and I give them a discount. I don't have a weekend minimum requirement. That seems a bit dodgy to me. I wouldn't make people stay for 2 or 3 days if they didn't want to, but you can always do that. And then you can go on your calendar and decide what you're going to block out here for future days you don't want to rent or days that you do want to rent, which makes it really easy. Maybe you're going out of town or birthday for someone, traveling, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you can block, you have to go one by one, unfortunately, but you can block a whole month if you want to. All right, so let's just do that. And then we're going to go to the next. And I think I have to set the price. Okay, so price adapts to demand, or price is fixed. I like smart pricing because I can always fix my base price, and then it can always go higher than that. And if a customer deserves or asks for a discount, it's very rude for them to ask for a discount right off the bat, because you've probably put some thought into what you're doing. I like to go a little higher than the minimum price. For what I just set up with all those bedrooms and stuff, $69 is a killer deal. But for that many, I put in like 6 beds. I would say this is like a $325 space. So that would be my minimum price. Maximum, I would just go like $500, because I could put like 8 people in there. It says 5, but I really put enough beds for 8. Price per night, and you can always increase that if they bring extra people. You can increase that. Set a default nightly price. Let's just put what would I have? 225, 325. I'll make it the same. I'll make it also 325, so it can't drop lower than my minimum. So now that you've done all that, you can offer 15% off at $300, and $325 is still a lot of money. I suggest a weekly discount. I suggest 15 and 25 is my deal. If you make it too cheap, people will get comfy cozy and they will turn into long-term renters. Then they will invite their grandma, their brother-in-law, their dog that they didn't tell you about, and you are stuck with a long-term renter. Just kidding. That's actually never happened to me with Airbnb. Okay, and then you got to double check what your city laws are. Make sure it's okay with your government. I say, you know what? Your government didn't do anything to earn your business. This is between you and Airbnb and the guests. So I say, damn the government. These guys just want their cut for nothing. They're doing nothing in exchange for you. They're not helping you at all. The cities will probably just try to charge you a business permit fee, so they get $200 just to give you a piece of paper, because you can tell I'm not a fan of most governments. I think American government is greedy, lazy, overpaid, and they don't really do much for the public. I'd like to see them do more for the public and just let Airbnb run its own business. Okay, so we'll publish the listing. Actually, I'm not going to do that because I don't need this published, but I can always go and delete the listing later. So once you publish your listing, let's go back. So here, there I am, back on my listing pages. That's me on the Horseshoe Bend Monument, by the way, standing on the Daredevil ledge on the very edge of the world, 700-foot drop down. Let's go back to Airbnb. So we're just about wrapped up. Once you're done there, your listings. Nope, we don't want to look at all my customers showing up. I'll go back to my calendar. Let's look at the listing for a moment. You can now see all your stuff. I didn't complete my fancy place in LA, just the demo. Let's take a look at this one. This is my most popular room, actually. Notice I have Instant Book on. So that setting Instant Book, let's go back. That Instant Book on and Smart Pricing on is a way for people to jump into that room tonight if it's available. They can book it right now wherever they're traveling. So, wow, just walk up to my door, follow my check-in instructions if I'm not around, and get into their room and take a nap, go to bed right away if that's what they want. on my screen here, the brightness settings, let me see. That's actually not a very bright picture. I have a very sexy looking plaid bedspread, which I really like. It looks really nice in person. For some reason, that should be a brighter photo. The brightness on the kitchen, that looks good. That's a good looking photo. The brightness outside, it's an old building, but it looks nice. The brightness in the bathroom, you want bright photos, you guys. Very important. We had a nighttime photo of our living room here, but I wanted to highlight that we have a fire in the fireplace, which you can barely notice, and TV on. So I should probably redo that photo. Close to a landmark, Lone Rock Beach. That's important. I even made it really obvious. So if people had their GPS bad, I said turn left at this sign, turn right at that sign, and you can find us. And that's not so hard. Actually, I got one customer because they didn't want to use Airbnb because their credit card was declined or something weird like that, and they found my page here and they followed those street signs in my photos, and they actually came right up to my door and said, hey, can I rent a room tonight, and I'll just swipe my credit card on your machine. I said, sure, that's no problem. So it actually paid off just to put those street signs in there where to turn, but that's because I'm out in the boonies. If you're in a big city, it shouldn't be too hard. Here's a pretty good listing. We went and got new bedspreads. We have got these fancy looking bedspreads from Walmart. They were on sale on clearance actually. Here we put Antelope Canyon nearby. That's actually 25 minutes away, so we put that in the shot. And what I did was I was looking at these contrasty black and white bedspreads. I'm like, these aren't getting booked a lot, and I wonder why. And I just thought maybe these bedspreads don't look that fancy, and there's no color in it. It's just black and white. So what I did, and I went and got this colorful, got this blue desert pattern thing that looked good, and I got this other one, and we started getting more bookings. All right, so it's been a long video. Thanks for watching, you guys. That's how you can get started with Airbnb. Please use my link and subscribe, follow for more Airbnb tips. We're doing some adventure stuff out here as well. And I really appreciate you watching. Have a nice day.